Hello YouTube. I'm actually making this video for you guys based on tons of comments that I've gotten on Facebook, my YouTube channel. Also, in the lieu of a lot of the responses that people respond to when someone posts a comment or a opinion that they're looking for on social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, all these places. Some of the responses that I've seen and read, they they're kind of troublesome because it's letting me know that there are a lot of people out there that have enough disposable income to go buy all this gear and they have no clue how to even use it. It's not a good thing. I think we need to be kind of careful when we put our opinions out there in front of people, that you're not speaking from your passion of what you think is the right thing and how this most of this gear works. A lot of people are absolutely incorrect on how some of this gear works and how they actually use it, yet they'll sit there and argue for hours on social media rather than go out there and take some pictures proving the point. So if you've noticed, I don't post as much anymore on social media when it comes to photographs, because I think social media is becoming kind of hostile. Rather, be it doesn't matter what the brand is. It's people are getting to the point where we have access to all this gear at a very affordable price to a certain extent. So everyone pretty much has an opinion, which is fine. Everyone claims to be a professional photographer. That's another problem. So there are folks that are truly genuinely looking for people to give them decent advice based on experience rather than just some article they read on the internet and they're commenting. So my biggest question that I've gotten in the last about, oh, 2 to 3 months is, where does X-T1, X-PRO1 really sit in relation to the X-T2 and the X-PRO2? And I think a lot of people are very confused, and I think this question gets posed on social media probably about 5 times a day. X-T1, then they'll say versus X-T2, then a question mark, and everyone and their brother has an opinion on what it is, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Let me share my experience with you. And I saw one of the best comments written by Nathan Smith today on one of the posts, and he nailed it. That he still uses an XT1, and he's buying more XT1s because of where the pricing's gone. And he still hasn't jumped the ship to XT2 and things like that. And he posted a link to a wedding that he shot. So, I think that's what we need. We need professional photographers stepping up to the plate and talking about what this Fuji Gear can do. Just because there's a new camera out, that does not make these cameras less capable. So let me just be very upfront. There is nothing in the X-T2 that any of my X-PRO1s or X-T1 can't do. Okay, and let me rephrase that before you go all haywire and posting 5 million comments and not even watch the rest of this video. I'm not talking about 4K video. I'm not talking about 24 megapixel. To me, megapixel means nothing. I don't crop my images. I frame them right in the camera, so I don't sit there and fool around with it. So trying to sell me on a higher resolution sensor, it doesn't work for me. But for someone other than myself, if they have a photography that has a need to crop and they need that extra resolution, fantastic, go buy it. It's really up to you. Does that mean that I would never buy an X-T2 or an X-PRO2? No, I would. I might. I don't know. I don't have the need for it just yet. So, having said that, my journey really started with this guy, the X-T1. I still own it. It doesn't even have a scratch on it. I mean, I use it a lot. And yeah, I wouldn't say I abuse my cameras. I really take care of them. Um, there are other people that truly, absolutely despise it at this point. They've destroyed their cameras. I've seen the condition of them with stuff falling off. I don't know how you guys are using a gear, but if you truly are a professional photographer, um, this gear is built pretty tough. Just like my Canon gear was. Do we abuse it? Yeah, we do. But that does not mean that we destroy it. It's a big difference, right? So, again, life happens. Things fall down, they break. That's bound to happen to anyone. In any case, here's X-PRO1. You know, this was the first one that I got. And after I got this a little bit after I got the X-T1. And when I started to shoot with this, especially the JPEGs out of this is as close as I can get to film without fooling around with the files. The X-T1 is great, but with the X-Trans2 sensor, the images are, how can I put it? They have more of a contrasty look to them, versus on this, it's more of a pastel look, which is very similar to true film, like the Fuji film. So that prompted me to get this guy, which is another X-PRO1, which is brand spanking new. It probably has less than 100 shots on this one. And I got this because I had the ability to be able to buy one brand new when B&H and Adorama were really getting rid of them. And then Fuji had said that no more X-PRO1. And I'm like, I gotta get one. So I did, and I have it. And all I can tell you is with these three cameras sitting here, I can run a professional photography business as long as I have decent glass on it. So let me get to the next thing, right? So the body is kind of important. That you need to have a good body that's capable. None of these have the anti-aliasing filter. They're super sharp. Don't let anyone fool you that they're not good for landscapes. They're not good for this, that, and the other. Any camera can be good for anything as long as you know how to use the camera to its fullest potential and understand where the limitations are and how you work around it as a photographer. And that's the difference between an amateur versus a professional. Doesn't matter what camera you give them, they'll find a way to create magic out of it. So I keep saying this in my posts and I keep saying this in my videos, and I think some people have really caught on to this, is you got to create magic with this, right? And the only way you can really discipline yourself, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, and everyone has a different view. Get a prime lens and set this thing to absolutely get it out of there. Just set your shutter speed here. This one doesn't have the aperture ring, but right here on the 56, it has the aperture ring right here. Set your aperture, set your shutter to whatever you want, set your ISO, and learn basic exposure. So I think a lot of people have no clue what they're doing when it comes to exposure, because I just saw a post today asking if my camera is messed up. All my cameras do this, and the funny thing is, all the other people on the post are like, "Oh, I'll try it on my camera and see if it does the same." It's letting me believe that you have no clue what you're doing. So let me get to the settings that this person had, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it was F22, it was at F1.4, and then it was ISO. Where'd it go? Okay, let me get to the actual ISO that I want. And the ISO that's the dynamic range. All right, fantastic. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to set the ISO to what they had, which was ISO 1600, I believe, or was it 3200? Doesn't matter. Anyway, so it was pretty dark. So if you can see this is your exposure meter, right? And the center is when you got it perfectly exposed. right now I'm sitting at about 2 stops under. So this person's actually sitting at 2 stops under and asking the question, well, my shadows are very heavy in the last 2 days. Well, you're at a shutter speed of a 1000 f1.4, sitting at ISO 1600, for example, here. People don't understand what basic exposure is, right? And they don't know how to read their meters correctly. I could see that in the video and comment on it, and he was still kind of baffled. So I think we need to learn the basics of photography. And we keep saying that we got faulty equipment and stuff. We don't. The equipment is just fine. You just don't know how to use it. And we have a lot of these people posting out there, and there's so many people commenting like, wow, maybe there's something wrong with the Fuji thing. Maybe there's something wrong with the Sony thing. Let's just go and, create stir without even looking at what the person is that they're asking and showing. So I think we need to be very cognizant to what we comment on social media, because you can mislead people pretty badly if you don't pay attention to what they're saying and why they're asking. So another post today. Someone actually asked, what would be a very good prime lens as your first prime lens for Fuji? And tons of people commented with 10 to 24 on all these zooms that Fuji makes. That's not what the question was. So people aren't reading. I think they're just all about ranting on these things and just trying to just type something to be the first ones to type something, and hopefully it makes some sense, and they stand some ground on this social media page. Well, you're making a fool out of yourself because you're not even reading on what the person's really asking. So, all I can tell you is, if you want to preserve the high level of standard that Fuji has when they built these products, we need to be very cognizant of that, because when we go and open our mouths and type all these things that are incorrect, it gives a product a bad name. So you don't understand what is it that people are asking, what kind of help they're looking for. And that's one of the main reasons why, for example, my YouTube channel, in 6 months, it's gone to like 2,200 subscribers. And I can see why. So all I'm trying to say is, does it help my channel? Sure it does. But, I want to try to get to the root of this, where let's just be cognizant, right? Let's not put products down. X-T2 versus X-PRO2. And where do all of the X1s sit, the Pro1 and the X-T1. X-T2 is a very capable camera. It's outstanding. However, I don't need what it does, right? So, and the main reason for me is because I shoot a lot of the Canon 1D bodies. So there's nothing in there that says, oh wow, here's my credit card, give me one. I gotta have it. I don't have to have it, because I've printed wedding albums out of just the X-PRO1. It was a 11 by 14 spread across both pages, so it would make a 22 by 28. Massive. I mean, this big, beautiful, man, just gorgeous. Shot with the 56 1.2. Just stunning. I mean, the client had tears in their eyes when they saw it. So, is X-T2 going to do anything better, where they're going to get more tears out of their eyes just because it has a higher resolution sensor and it's got this, that, and the other and everything? No, it's not. So, you know what? Let's get real with ourselves. You can keep having the gear acquisition syndrome, which is gas, and keep on buying gear if you really want. And if you want the latest and greatest just to show that you're big and bad because you got it, that's great. But majority of the photographs that I'm seeing out of the X-T2 and X-PRO2, they're not that much better than what came out of the X-PRO1 and the X-T1. It's not something that's so far ahead that I have to have it. So if you have this gear, keep it. I honestly think as more Fuji products keep coming out, I am gravitating to loving the X-PRO1 and the X-T1 more and more and more, because of the simplicity of the products and the beauty that they had without 1,000 bells and whistles in there. very few issues with them. They just keep running, extremely well built. Um, some people might disagree. X-T1 breaks down, falls apart. Yeah, this is after 1 year. You know, shot many weddings with this, dance competitions, everything with it. Here, nothing's come loose. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You definitely aren't taking care of your gear. So, in any case, if you are a true professional, you do take care of your gear because it is an extension of you. It's not something that you bought just to shoot the dog running around. You bought it because it puts a lot of money on the table for you to be able to provide for your family. So your mindset is very different when you're using this gear. It forces you to use it. All of this gear comes with something called a user manual. No one reads it anymore. You'll be shocked on how much you will learn about your camera just by using it. Um, 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 Ken Rockwell is a great guy. He's done some great things in the photography world. I don't agree with everything he does, but I do agree with one thing he always used to say, and I'm sure he still does. You got to read the manual. It's in there for a reason. Canon, for example, even today, will print a manual this thick about all of their cameras. Why do they do that? Because they want you to read the manual. They really want you to learn how to use it correctly and keep it for a long time. If you use this gear correctly, the chances of you having gear acquisition syndrome, it's literally going to shrink very fast because now you know the full potential of what you have in your hand. So when the new product comes out, it's like, is it really worth it for me to upgrade? So that's my biggest question that I get a lot of is, do I need to upgrade? Should I upgrade? What would I get if I do? So, that's what I wanted to get out to you guys. So again, be cognizant. Please don't knock down products that you don't understand really well and don't know how to use all the way. There's always something better. You just have to find what works for you guys. Stay humble, be good, and again, like I said, X-PRO1, X-T1, absolute steal in the market today. I saw an X-T1 with a 27 millimeter to f2.8 lens on it for $650. It's a steal, absolute steal. I've shot birds on flight with this thing, perfectly tracked it. No, I don't really need an X-T2. The X-T1's fast enough. I can get what I need to get as long as I'm prepared and I shoot. And I've actually shot birds with the X-PRO1. And maybe I'll actually just do a video of images of birds at sunset shot with the X-PRO1 and the X-T1, so you guys can really see what the true potential of these cameras are. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe, do so. If you don't, that's very cool. Just keep on the lookout. Right now, B&H and all these guys, they actually have some fantastic X-T1s at great deals that are used ones, so check them out. I'll put some links down there if you want to take a look, and again, talk to you guys soon.